What's going on, everybody? This is Weston Means here with eXp Realty in the San Francisco Bay Area. Today we have a special treat for you. We're going to be featuring the beautiful city of El Cerrito. This is my favorite spot I like to come to when I used to live here a couple years back. And to be honest, the views are one of the big reasons why a lot of people move to El Cerrito. A lot of the homes in the hills over here have very nice views of the entire bay. Across the bay, obviously, you can see San Francisco. There's the Golden Gate, which is actually covered in clouds right now, but you can usually see it. And Potrero is one of the major avenues that comes up the mountain right here. But I guess it's the Little Hill because El Cerrito means Little Hill in Spanish. It could also be a reference to the Albany Hill, which is right there. And that's in the neighboring city Albany, which is right next to El Cerrito. But very beautiful area, lots of good public transport, very family friendly, and just overall a really nice place. This is honestly one of my favorite cities in the entire bay. All right, so while we're touring El Cerrito today, we thought we would show you a few homes in the area. Just real quick, before we go inside, I wanted to show you one of the landmarks that you see when you're up in the hills here in El Cerrito. It is Mount Tam, and you can see the old Richmond refinery, which has been there for a long time. A lot of the homes up here will have views of that area. Obviously, the refinery is not a good view, but the beautiful Mount Tam is a nice view, and that's one of the biggest mountains around this area. It's actually in Marin County. So let me show you the house. This home was built in 1941. Most of the homes in this area were built in the 40s and 50s. So you'll see lots of period details from that time, namely like things like the wood flooring. You know, this is refinished, original from the 40s. A lot of people like the old wood. Also the fireplace. These days in California, you can't build fireplaces anymore just because of environmental reasons, you know, burning wood and stuff like that. Let's show them around. The bedrooms. Just like a cute little bedroom. And we have a bath. This one has been updated a little bit. I think in the 40s you would have had a clawfoot tub or something like that, but this is a more modern one, as well as the toilet and the vanity. But you can see these hardwood floors throughout the bedrooms. Down there we have a cute little nook and a backyard. Obviously, we have vinyl windows down here, so this is not from the 40s, but it is a nice update. And a fairly small lot. I think this is maybe about 3,000 square foot lot, which is fairly typical for a lot of homes here in El Cerrito. A lot of the homes were kind of like starter homes for smaller families. Lots of 2-bed, 1-baths. This one is a 3-bed, 1.5. And something that you see a lot in El Cerrito is the juxtaposition from old to new. So like you'll see some old details next to new. So like in here, we have the original cabinets, I think from the 40s, but we have the new hardware and it's been freshly painted to make it look nice. And then we have quartz countertops. These look pretty much brand new, and the appliances as well. Now come take a look at this. This is an absolute period detail from the 40s. And you will see this a lot in homes in Albany and El Cerrito, and actually Richmond too. A lot of the housewives in the 40s and 50s, they would do a lot of ironing. So time to iron, they would just bring it out from the wall, do their ironing, be done, and fold it back right into the wall. So pretty useful for back then. All right, so we're here with my partner, Steffi. She is also an agent with eXp Realty. So Steffi, you are a resident of El Cerrito.
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you lived in El Cerrito?
It's about 2021, 2022.
Okay, so you've been here for a little bit. So what do you do on a normal day just when you're out in El Cerrito?
Depends on the day. Typically, I go to work and our office is in Berkeley, Solano Avenue. But if the day calls for a hike, then sometimes I go and do that. There are multiple trails around, pretty, simple hike. Or if the day calls for like a picnic at the park, then sometimes I like to check out Arlington Park. Yeah, it never gets too hot here, which is really nice. So you always get a nice breeze and lots of just community, lots of families walking their dogs, and then the Arlington Park always have like kiddos playing around in it as well. So that's always nice.
And do you have any like cafes or like restaurants that you go to?
Ooh, yeah. So in El Cerrito, I think one of our go-to favorites is Well-Grounded Coffee. Really solid coffees, and their bagels though. Their bagels are so good. Yeah, they have one that even has spam on it.
Good? Ooh, spam.
Right?
Wow.
Usually you don't have spam in your bagel sandwich. Yes, so it's really good. So I highly recommend that place.
Dang, that sounds really good.
Come on in. Yeah, so you have your typical 2 bedrooms, 1 bath here. Very common kind of blueprint for El Cerrito. Hey, this is not a bad view.
No, not at all. And this is what people move to El Cerrito for, right? The views.
Yeah, and then you have your kitchen here with a formal dining room. I do like the ceiling too. I wish they had like not painted everything white because usually with these exposed wood, you get more like character.
Yeah, sometimes they expose the ceilings in natural.
Yeah, but it looks like they just decided to paint it all white for that, you know, clean look. Wow, look at this gorgeous view from your front yard. Are you kidding me?
Imagine looking up to that every day. It's one of the coolest trails in my opinion. I used to live in El Cerrito as well. And it's like a very short walk up this hill. And there is an amazing, gorgeous view.
Oh wow, you can see the San Francisco skyline.
Watch this. This has a little bit of steepness, but you can kind of pick and choose. Like, there's a trail that goes up that way, and then this other trail that's kind of a little more flat. All right, so remember what we were saying earlier about views? This is a home up in the El Cerrito Hills that absolutely has a view. You can see Angel Island over there to the left, Mount Tamalpais up over there, and we can see downtown Richmond off there. This is what people come here for, y'all. And we see San Francisco and the Sutro Tower right over there, and a beautiful home with big windows. And Steffi.
Yes.
Steffi does not come with the property. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. This one is way nicer than the other two we've seen today. This has like actual tiles
definitely
around
modernized for sure.
Yeah, a fresh paint job. But yeah, they paid attention to some of the details in here.
Definitely. This is like a nice dining room. Like you can have your views and it bleeds out to the backyard.
Totally.
So you can have kind of like an indoor-outdoor party going on at the same time.
Yeah, wow. Look at oh, it goes all the way up there. Let's take a look up there.
Gorgeous. Wow, this is literally like your own private oasis.
Look at that, y'all. And there's a little bench right here.
Wow!
Woo!
What a treat!
Oh, that is gorgeous. These trees are blocking El Cerrito, but these are the views up here. Off to the right is East Richmond, which is kind of a continuation of El Cerrito, but we can see downtown Richmond right there. And this is one of the main reasons why people move here. The views, man. Beautiful. All right, Steffi, now show us the rest of the house.
Absolutely, come on in. So wow, check out this
views right there as you come in.
Newly redone, new hardware, new shelves. Look at the skylight. Talk about natural lighting. Ooh. Yeah, it's gorgeous. We have a dry bar over there, or breakfast bar.
Yep.
It's your first bathroom here. One of your bedrooms. There is something to note. It is carpeted in the bedrooms, which some folks may not be a fan of.
Some people like it, some people don't.
That video of like buying a house in the 90s, we want the carpets.
I personally don't like them. How do you feel about them?
I personally don't like them either, especially having pets. Having hardwood floors just allow me to clean up their accidents a little better and quicker and easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you have carpet, you're like down there scrubbing, and especially if they have an accident late at night and you're asleep. Ooh, game over.
Game over.
Game over.
Okay, what we got in here?
Yeah, so this is your washer dryer unit.
Yep, pretty standard.
Pretty standard, yep.
Ooh, check this out.
Yeah, don't miss the downstairs.
Don't miss the downstairs. All right, so a lot of these older homes were split level. So this almost seems like a in-law kind of suite down here. There's another fireplace connected to the same chimney.
Yeah.
Looks like we have a little kitchenette. I don't see any appliances. So this is kind of like an in-law unit.
Yeah, maybe like a studio with a small kitchenette.
Got the hookups right there. What do we got here? This is the garage.
Yeah.
If you wanted to have it as an in-law, you would have
to like a family, right?
They would have access to the garage. Yeah, so it's more like one family, maybe multiple generations.
Yeah, which we are starting to see a lot more common these days.
Oh, absolutely, because the housing costs are so high in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Families got to move in with each other now, so kids, get ready to live with your parents one day.
But yeah, so there's a private side entrance to this little in-law.
Yeah.
But it is still connected to the main house, so yeah. So I'm sure you can work around it if you really want to rent it out to, a non-family member.
Yeah, I think you could make it work.
Yeah.
And we got recessed lighting down here, so it definitely has been updated. There was the front door where we came in, and we haven't seen this bedroom yet. Ooh, this one has its own bath and its own view.
Like a little cloud.
Super nice.
See you later.
All right, so Steffi and I made it back to Arlington Park here in Arlington, here in El Cerrito. We want to thank you for watching our first video. This was a lot of fun shooting this. It was fun taking a look at some places around El Cerrito. We want to thank you once again. Like, subscribe, share, and let us know if there's any way we can help you in your journey here in the Bay Area.
Bye!
Okay, hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? Today we are diving into the beautiful city of El Cerrito, which is actually one of, if not my favorite city in the entire Bay Area. It is located in the East Bay, right above Berkeley, right between Richmond and Berkeley. Over here, Albany is a little city right here. Also, to the right of El Cerrito is a small town called Kensington, which is right between Berkeley and El Cerrito. And one of the defining features of El Cerrito is it's, nestled up right here. This area is kind of a flatland, and then there's a lot of hills right here where there are really nice views. Why I really like El Cerrito, there's really beautiful views. Mosier Lane goes right up into the hills up here. There's some natural areas. Motorcycle Hill, here's a natural hillside area where there's lots of hiking trails and stuff like that right in the middle. And then, another major boulevard is Arlington that comes pretty much right along the crest of the mountain range here, which kind of pretty much separates this area, the flatlands, from the parks back here, the natural areas, Tilden Park. There's also a Wildcat Canyon up here. It's just really in a good location. You got the Richmond Marina over here. There's a lot to do there. Costco, that's very useful. We also have Ranch 99. That's another big market that people go to. Asian market, actually. And, you got Berkeley right to the south, right here. And if you wanted to take a trip to wine country, it's actually not that far. It's about a 45-minute drive to Napa. So Napa's right up there above Vallejo. And the other cool thing is, if you like to do anything in Marin County, it's also not very far from Marin. It's about maybe 25 minutes, 30 minutes from Marin County. So you have access to all these cool things to do over here. And then, of course, it's not very far from San Francisco either. It's maybe about 35, 45-minute drive without traffic. With traffic, obviously, that's going to be a lot longer. But it's just very centrally located in the East Bay. And, you know, I grew up, most of my early life was in Berkeley, but I lived in El Cerrito for about 3 years right after high school. And I lived here from 2011 at Cal State East Bay. Let's dive into the history of El Cerrito really quick. Just on the elcerrito.org website, and they have a history page. And it turns out that actually El Cerrito used to be named Rust. This German, he came to California in 1883. He leased property, built a blacksmith shop, and eventually in 1909, the city was named Rust, and he became the first postmaster on March 1st, 1909. The name stuck until the town of 1,500 people was incorporated as a city in 1917. And then eventually they got bored of that name and they changed it to El Cerrito, which means little hill in Spanish. And the reason for that is because of Albany Hill, which is right here. So even though Albany Hill is actually in Albany, El Cerrito is named after Albany Hill. And obviously Albany Hill was probably named something else before it was named Albany Hill, but that's the hill that this town is referring to. So one of the biggest avenues that goes through El Cerrito is San Pablo. It goes through Pinole and pretty much keeps going. It pretty much takes you all the way to Crockett. So it pretty much turns into Pomona Street right here. So it takes you essentially all the way to the bridge, and this would be Zampa Memorial Bridge between Crockett and Vallejo. Some refer to it as the Carquinez Bridge, but San Pablo comes all the way down, and it comes right through El Cerrito, goes through Albany, and goes through Berkeley, and goes all the way to downtown Oakland, and it pretty much ends right in downtown Oakland right here. So most of the homes are mid-century modern, but there has also been some new development in El Cerrito. One of the big things that a lot of, contractors and developers are doing is they're buying homes in El Cerrito and updating them, flipping them, selling them for a profit. Real quick, I'll just show you a few of the homes that are available right now in El Cerrito. And basically, a lot of the homes have a similar vibe, but some have been more updated than others. And one of the biggest selling points of homes in El Cerrito is that there are views. But there are two different real areas of El Cerrito. There are the flats, which are kind of like right here, and then there are the hills of El Cerrito. And that's where the views are, obviously. Because the further you go up, you'll be able to see over Albany Hill, and you'll be able to see San Francisco and Marin. There's a big mountain right here, Mount Tamalpais. So you'll definitely be able to see that from some of the homes up here. But, the homes in the flats are also very nice. They have access to San Pablo Avenue. You can also get to the freeways quite easily, so it's very accessible. And then, of course, right down Central Avenue, we have Costco over here, so that's a huge thing for a lot of people. And there's El Cerrito Plaza here, which is a major shopping center. But anyway, let me show you one of these homes in the hills. Let's go to this one for 1.6. So I've actually toured this one. This is a duplex, and it's been updated. The main house is really, really big, and actually this is the primary bedroom. It's about the size of like a studio, like a dance studio, and I feel like you could have exercise classes in here. They did a good job with the photos. It was really nicely staged, and it has this kind of like green room. But the problem with this one is there was a lot of trees that were blocking the view of the bay, so you can kind of get glimpses of it through the trees, but the trees are blocking a lot. See, there's Albany Hill over there, and San Francisco is back over there, but it's blocked by the trees. So that's one. Here's one that's updated. See, these are brand new windows. Let's see when this was built. 2023. So there is actually quite a bit of new development in El Cerrito. So this is a brand new home from 2023. It's less than a year old. I like the chess in the staging photo. See, you can kind of get views of the bay. There's San Francisco. It looks like it was a foggy, smoggy day when they took these photos. But over there, there's Mount Tamalpais, and then there's Richmond. So lots of different homes in El Cerrito. And there's quite a wide range of prices down in the flats. I mean, there's one here for even $575. Well, this is a condo. But I'd say single family homes range anywhere from, I mean, depending on how updated they are, probably anywhere from high 800s to about 1.9, even 2 million. If you're way up in the hills and it's a really big property, you know, maybe it has like an in-law unit or an ADU. I've seen properties in El Cerrito definitely go above 2 million, but you can get them all the way down to, you know, maybe even high 800s if it needs a little bit of work. You could even get a fixed up one, a 3-bed, 2-bath for probably $950 here in the flats. But you're probably going to get a little bit smaller of a lot and you're not going to get much of a view. That kind of gives you an idea of what the real estate is like. And then another thing that makes some of the properties up here a little more expensive is there's a country club, golf club, Mira Vista. So a lot of folks, when they move into this area, there's maybe some big golfers and they want to live near this country club. So that may drive up the prices up in the hills a little more. I'll show you some of my favorite places to go in El Cerrito. I actually went to Albany High, which is right at the El Cerrito and Albany border, actually right here. And then we used to play football right over here at Cougar Field. And Cougar Field comes right up to the El Cerrito Plaza. This is the El Cerrito Plaza. El Cerrito Plaza is a great place for shopping. And then if you continue on San Pablo Ave, there's the Cerrito Theater. It's essentially an Art Deco theater, and they have couches in there, so it's kind of like a more informal theater, a small theater, and you can get wine and food and stuff, so it's a really cool place to go. So I highly recommend that. If you like Asian food and treats, definitely go to Pacific East Mall. There's a lot of cool things you can see in there. You know, there's Ranch 99, which is this market here, and then there's like boba and pho and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're into that, definitely go there. Over here, there's Costco. There's hiking trails. There's actually a biking trail that goes along the coast right here. I believe it's this green line. And so if you are a cyclist, you could definitely try that out. And another thing that I love to do in El Cerrito is take a walk up Mosier Lane. There's some really nice views over up in this area, and there's actually a huge park right next to Mosier Lane, and so you can hike through there as well. A lot of people walk their dogs through there, but this pretty much goes, it's a little steep, but it goes right up to the hills. And another thing about El Cerrito, there seems to be a very high percentage of Japanese people, and so there are a lot of Japanese markets. Yaoyasan, this is one of the markets down here. This restaurant is pretty good for ramen, and so if you want to get any kind of Japanese groceries, that's a cool place to go. And then, of course, the Hillside area is a nice place to hike. Motorcycle Hill as well. And over here, there's a nice Mexican restaurant, a little bit pricey, but it's called Los Moles, right there off of Potrero and San Pablo. And then, actually, there's this walkway that goes right through El Cerrito, and it's called the Ohlone Greenway. That's a very nice, trail to just walk through El Cerrito and kind of get a feel for the area. And then another major avenue I like to hike up is Potrero. And actually right up here, there's a little turnoff right where it kind of starts curving around. And you can walk out here, and there's a really nice view of the bay right up there. So the view is actually a little bit further back. It looks like Google Maps doesn't have a photo of that, but it's really nice. Alright guys, I hope this video helped you understand the city of El Cerrito a little more. If there's any other questions you have about El Cerrito or El Cerrito real estate, please feel free to reach out to me. As always, I'm here to answer all of your questions. This is Weston Means with eXp Realty, and I'll see you in the next one.